Oh my gosh. I'm like hitting things. I'm hitting things. It's too much chest. Oh, I ain't any lip gloss. Why does it lean like that? I think we're ready. Hi guys. Oh my gosh. All right. Hello, welcome to VLOGMAS. If you are new, welcome. If you are not new, welcome back. My name is Jasmine, and today we're gonna talk about singleness. I just was having this like moment, so I'm single because it's not obvious, and I have a desire to get married, and I know I will one day, and I believe that for myself, and I know it's going to happen. And I will reference this video as a wife, and then to reference it again as a mother. I was on TikTok the other day, and I saw this TikTok about this girl that was talking about how she was basically having like a diary of sorts, a video diary of sorts, where she was talking about this notion of like, when you say, I'm never gonna post another boyfriend, or never gonna post another girlfriend. And to her, it was I'm trying to explain it the way that, because it really ministered to me, obviously, or else I wouldn't be talking about it. And she was talking about how, in saying, I'm never going to post another boyfriend or another partner or whatever again until I get married, almost as an element of perfectionism. Because it's like, okay, I dated, I worked through and navigated through all of these struggles and hardships of dating, and now I have like the finished result. I have the one, I have, you know, who I'm going to spend my life with. And I've led with that for years. I have led with that for years. I have not posted anyone of significance in that space, probably in over 10 years. There have been people, but I just never posted them. Because to me though, I did, as someone who is a recovering perfectionist, it was like, yeah, I'm gonna just pop up with a fiance. Now, I'm still going to do that because I just want to, and I just love the element of surprise in that way. But it really ministered to me as someone who has hated dating for years. I hated dating, I have hated dating. I'm like, why? Why do we have to do this? Why? Why do I have to learn your favorite color? Why do I have to understand? Why? Now, God and I have been in a very unique scenario with my romantic life. And so I look at God and I go, okay, so if we're moving in this direction, why do I even have to bother dating? Why? Why can't I just learn and grow when you bring the right person? Like, why can't I just learn and evolve as a one man when you bring my spouse? Like, why? And so that really ministered to me because, again, in the spirit of like, it's okay to have the ups and downs in dating. That's normal. That was her point. Her point was, you have ups and downs that come with dating. You have ups and downs that come with relationships fail. People date, they don't work out. You get your feelings hurt, you get your heart broken, right? And I did a video about honoring your feelings. I think I mentioned it in a ramble somewhere, and about honoring your feelings and it being okay to feel. And so for me, in navigating feelings and navigating like just where I'm at right now, it's been very interesting, and I've really tried to prioritize that. In talking about singleness, I'm 30 years old, which I just had a birthday recently. So like, I'm barely in my 30s, but I just feel so excited about my 30s. And I remember when I thought I was gonna be somebody's wife at 23. I was gonna meet my college sweetheart, marry him at 23, have kids by 25, be married by 25, have kids at 27. I am 30 with neither spouse or kids. And honestly, I look back and I go, thank you, Jesus. I mentioned this in my recollection of 30, or just reflecting on 30 video before my birthday. And I'm just so grateful for God's sovereignty, because I know he knew exactly what he was doing. And also like I feel like I'm so much more grounded in who I am now. I'm so much more like sure of the foundation. Like, there's a lot of growth that still needs to happen. But we'll be growing for the rest of our lives, right? There's so much more growth that needs to happen, but I'm also just like excited about as an adult. Like, I feel like an adult now. That's just me. And some people become adults at 22. I feel like an adult now, even though I'm still gonna be childish because I'm childish. But I'm so excited about growing and learning with someone else who's an adult together, and what that's gonna look like. And you know, and being single for as long as I've been single, I'm only 30, I know there are people who are older that watch this, so they're like, girl, you ain't even lived yet. You've not even begun to live. Heard. Girl, you're a baby. Heard. Appreciate you. But in the season of singleness that I've existed in over the last few years, where I've been hyper aware about my singleness, there's been a lot that I've grown to appreciate. For example, when I moved out of my mom's house, first of all, I had every plan of staying home until I got married. Why? Because why would I get an apartment by myself when I can get an apartment and move in with my husband? I gotta be used to living with people anyways. Like, that was my logic. It really was. It was like, if I move out and live by myself, then I'm gonna be too set in my ways and I'm not gonna be able to like, surrender my independence in my home or whatever. And it's like, yeah, but you kind of have to do that regardless, right? Like, when someone ate food, when a sibling or somebody ate food at my mom's house, it was annoying, but it was just like, okay, yeah, but the day my husband eats my food, I'll be used to it. Like, that was my logic. I am so happy to have been able to have lived by myself. I am so happy to have been able to have seen myself, to see my habits, my routines, to be alone with my own thoughts. For many years, I could not be alone with my own thoughts because I struggled with self-esteem and struggled with insecurity, which we all still do, of course, and just struggled with like self-worth and like, who am I and all of that stuff. So it was hard the thought of being alone was challenging. Plus, it was super easy to lean into my extroversion and being an extrovert and jack of all trades, the life of the party, all of that stuff. But as I've gotten older, I've learned to love this notion around like being alone and alone time. And it's like, oh, this is why people like being alone. Oh, being able to unwind by myself. Oh, being able to recharge by myself. I get it now. And I think a lot of that had to do with singleness for me. Also, just like faith in general, right? Like, I've been believing for a spouse. I've been desiring to be married since I was a teenager. Obviously, it was for selfish reasons. But then as I've gotten older, it's like, no, I recognize that marriage is hard and like believing for God's best. And I know that, again, we're going to revisit this video when I'm married. We just are. Thinking about God's best for me and navigating through marriage, that's very hard and all of that stuff. And so the longer that God has me waiting, the more that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna appreciate it more. And I've even navigated through that with my therapist. The longer you wait for a baby, or the longer you wait for a job, the longer you wait for an apartment, a house, whatever, you appreciate it more when you get it because you had to wait for it. And I believe that that's how I'm gonna be with my kids and with my husband. I'm really grateful for that. But I'm also glad for the time that I've had now too, to be able to travel and, oh my gosh, go eat by myself. If you have never, listen, scooch in. If you have never gone out to eat by yourself, I challenge you to do it. It is amazing. I will put in my headphones, watch a movie. But it's hilarious because people are so uncomfortable around you, depending on where you go. Like, they're just like, okay, so how many? One. Just one? Mm-hmm, just one. So you sit down, there's a confidence that comes with eating by yourself that I just feel like you just have to do. So just try it and let me know in the comments if you do it and like what your experience is. Even if it's challenging, I want to know because people are like fascinated at the fact that I go eat by myself often. I eat with friends too, of course, but it's just people are fascinated. So I've been able to do that, traveling all over the place, mission trips, just all of the things and capabilities that I'm able to do right now that I trust and know that like, okay, God, you allow me to do all of this stuff before 30 or all of this stuff before my husband comes because that was so I could really take it in and absorb and appreciate it. Now, that is not to say that I don't have my days where I'm like, God, where is he? God, why are you doing this? Why is it taking so long? What the heck? What's going on? Why did you give me desires for this? Why did you give me desires for whatever? Why did you give me desires for sex if I was gonna be single? I have to work through that with the Lord too, right? But again, it's just like that life, that like life is not linear. Like your faith walk is not linear, life is not linear, it's just not. Like, and I think for me, I'm grateful to God for, he thinks about so much further because obviously I'm thinking about like meeting and dating and going out and getting engaged and having an engagement party and getting a wedding and then having a wedding night and then moving in. Like I probably can see like 2 months. My brain probably thinks about probably a month past my wedding where God's thinking 10 years. He's thinking 15 years, he's thinking 20 years, right? As parents, as partners, as whatever, like we have to just trust him. But also I think it's important to like admit where you feel like God has slighted you, right? Like there are plenty of times, there are plenty of times where I felt like God has completely let me down, completely just forgotten about me, especially in the area of marriage. Cause that's like, it's like where you really, I saw this analogy on Instagram years ago and I saved it, where this woman was talking about, you want a red bicycle or something, like something you really, really wanted as a kid. And then you get all of these great gifts before, but you really just wanted the bike. Like that's how I felt about marriage for the majority of my life. God has blessed me tremendously and he's been so good and so sovereign and so faithful. I just stop and go, God, thank you so much for so many years. But like since I was a little girl, I wanted to get married. Since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a wife and a mom and all of that stuff. And so, there are moments where I'm like I'm so grateful, but also I just only ever wanted, but I know it's all for a reason and I know that I'll appreciate it that much more. So there's that. I don't know, I've been feeling really inspired in a lot of areas, but also I don't know if 30s just all of a sudden I got this like energy like in my 30s, barely. in my 30s or something, but something just has switched, has just pivoted over where I'm like, God, if you said you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. That's it. If you said a way is gonna be a thing is gonna be a thing, then that's what it's gonna be, and I just trust you. But also honoring my feelings and asking him to show me, like, what do you want me to see now? There are lots of things that I'm doing right now that if I was married and a wife, I wouldn't be doing. Like, I know that. And so I'm grateful to God for him just being smarter and knowing more and being better. So that's me. Yeah, I don't know. I just been feeling real inspired, and so I wanted to share my heart with you a little bit. Vlogmas is almost over, which is insane. I cannot believe that we made it this far. My mind is blown. I'm really shook, all of that. And I'm just grateful for what God is doing and just all of the things. So Vlogmas is coming to a close. So hopefully you've been watching all the videos, because I've been putting them out for y'all to watch and hang out with me and get to know me better, but also I want to get to know y'all better. So comment down below video ideas, content ideas, those types of things. I hope you're following me on Instagram, because I'm always there. That's like my favorite platform of all time. And then like, subscribe, and share. Join the fam. This is me, and it just is what it is, and Vlogmas continues. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.